Hey guys, how's it going? It's me, Josh Halter, owner and founder of the Bldg. I'm at my store here in Houston. You can come check me out Monday through Friday, 9 a.m. to 4, and Saturday, 10 to 5. Check out my website, like and subscribe, all that good stuff. So in front of me is a video I've been wanting to do for some time, and this was actually requested by a couple of my customers many times. You guys know that we recently started selling tissue cultures. This is something that I've actually been looking into as well as a potentially completely separate business because I'm looking at the scalability of it. But I'm also looking at just how much easier it makes your life. So a tissue culture is essentially a sterilized container on the inside that guarantees your plant to be free of nasties. We're talking snails, slugs, anything. And it's cultured on a sterile medium that is filled with different types of fertilizers made specifically for the plant. And then typically they have a small little air hole on the side. Now, a lot of companies make these. Ultimate Nature Systems, Chase at Houston Frogs. We have a whole bunch of stuff. What I'm going to show you guys today is I'm going to show you guys some of the different tissue cultures we have, but I'm also going to show you how to turn your different rock pieces that go into your terrarium into this. Now, you guys know I have a whole bunch of just moss-covered things in my showroom. Now, I'm not a moss master by any means, but I'm definitely getting better as I progress in my career. The moment you open these are no longer sterile, which means they must be placed into your habitat pretty much immediately. You cannot leave them in here because the medium will start growing bad bacteria, and then the bacteria will kill your plant. Okay, so first let's get started here with the Taiwan moss. So Taiwan moss, this is a more denser, fluffier moss that does really good above water and underwater. I love putting this on top of my different wood pieces or accents that are hitting the water's edge. Weeping moss has another awesome effect. Here is some Java moss. Everyone knows Java moss. It's thick, it's clumpy, it's bright green. It is one of the easiest mosses to grow. And you can easily put it on top of your coconut hut like this with the method I'm going to show you guys in a bit. This took about 4 months to get done. Really easy. One of my favorites is the flame moss. Look at that color. So number one, the flame moss is a particularly lighter type of green, almost to the point of orange, but it has more of literally looks like a cackle of a flame type of appearance, which I think is really, really cool. This is called stringy moss. Now, this stuff isn't bad, but what I really like about it is the fact of it literally looks like hair because it has a bunch of little tiny fibers that you can actually see comparison to some of the other mosses. But above water, if it dries out even even just a little bit, this moss just dies. I have some of this in my beta's habitat at home, and the spot that's under the water is really good, but any portions of the tips that get relatively dry, they dry out really quick. Here we have liverwort. Liverwort is another really, really good plant. I highly recommend using this for newts and salamanders because it almost creates a stackable appearance, kind of like slate does. And I love this stuff because it's very easy to grow, but it is messy. It's messy in the aspects of, I'm going to pull all this out, and that's okay. But some of these loose pieces, these tiny pieces, they sometimes just detach relatively quickly. Here we have a boost plant. This is another really, really popular plant that is good for aquatic setups, or you can even grow them in a dart frog habitat if you keep it wet enough, which I'm gonna do. And I'm gonna put a lot of these in my habitats here at the Dude. And then last but not least, we have spiky moss. Now, spiky moss, you guys saw this with the Taiwan moss on my discus habitat at home. Now, this stuff literally grows to a peak of a mountain. It kind of grows like this and up. I've gotten moss chunks as this thick, denser than this right here, but this tall, which I think is really, really cool. So this is some of the flame moss up here, as you can see. This is exactly what I was talking about. You can see how thick and dense it gets. And then you notice how the spots that go into the water are a lot darker. Pretty cool, right? And to get this established, I'm going to show you guys how we did it. So what I like to do is I get a small tub right like this. And then I'll take some pumice rock like so. We sell this by the case on the bldg.com. This is another really good, this is what some people call feather rock. But it's literally just volcanic pumice. So I'm going to put these pieces on here. So I want to figure out where I want my moss to be, what's going to give me the most porous surface area. Yeah, right here. And then I'm going to use, you can use treated tap water, but I highly recommend using like reverse osmosis or something that's been clean, like spring water. So I put enough water in there. That water is going to be 1/3 the way up the rock. So that way, while this wicks the moisture upwards, it's going to allow us to have the moss get established and spread like this. Okay, now let's get moss on these bad boys. So what I'm gonna take here is I'm actually gonna take some of the liverwort and I'm gonna give it a nice rinsing in some water. And I want to put this kind of right around here. Okay. So my hope is liverwort is going to take over this side and down into the water. And then I'm going to, the other side, what I think is going to complement well is the spiky moss. So my hope is that as it progresses, I can trim it as it slowly goes over here to the water and then maintain the spiky moss. So obviously moss, just like in the woods, it doesn't like competition, right? You never see, like if you see moss, it's usually its own individual entity. So it's really important that when you place your moss in here, that you're keeping that in mind, that the moss is going to have a place to go and not feel like it's getting run out by any other plant. And I think these two, being the rate of growth that they actually do, should go pretty well. Okay, so then we got this right here. Now, if I was using a coconut hut, I would sit the coconut hut in here, and then I would simply put my moss wherever I want. But we're going to put this here, and then we're going to put in the Taiwan moss. Okay, like that. All right, now that's what I'm going to do for this. I'm going to get the lid on, and we're going to check back in on this in about a month. And we'll do a quick update video for you, as well as getting these established in some of my tanks. Okay, so here's some other tissue cultures I got established in here, which just turned out great. So here, got this clump right here, and then look at this right on here. Beautiful. So all I did was just put a cluster of it on here and a cluster of it on here. Not only is it starting to spread on the monkey pod, it is starting to spread going up the ghost wood. You can see I started the process on the coconut hut here, which looks great. And then we got some more over here. So you can see it on top of the coconut hut. Getting nice and established here. And then you can also see we're getting some Busa plant, trying that out, which it also has some new growth. And then more types of more Taiwan moss growing here and here. All from tissue cultures, guys. It does not take a long time. And again, the benefits, it is completely clean, free of any nasties, slugs, other things that you may not want to come into your habitat. See how this stuff does here. Okay. All right, I'm going to put this right on here. Okay. Okay, so I got some of the flame moss right here. We're going to put some of this right here, right on top of this wood here. Okay. We got this big old Busa plant. Look at that. Pretty cool, right? Look at those roots. And then we're going to plant that where it's always going to be sopping wet right here by this bromeliad and by Mr. Isopod. Beep. We'll see how this does. And then last but not least, the riparian moss, which you see how nice, how light and fluffy this is. We're gonna see how this does. We're gonna put this on the other side of the monkey pod. We'll check back in a couple of weeks, guys, and see how it's doing. I got my breeding pair of vacuies in here, and look, they got some eggs for me. Just gonna go ahead. I know, I was messing with your eggs. I'm gonna go ahead and give them their little hut back. So I hope you guys enjoy this video. Again, just a quick, some of my methods on how to get some of the moss established on some of your rocks and some of your pieces of your wood in your terrarium and outside your terrarium. If you guys have any questions, feel free to drop a line in the comments. You guys know me. My name's Josh Halter. I'm the owner and founder of The Bldg. Visit my website, thebldg.com. Check me out on Facebook, Instagram, YouTube. I really appreciate everybody's support, and watch out for the update video on these to see how they all progressed and did in the next couple weeks. The dude abides.